Hey everyone, today we're going to do another parametric precedent. Want to start off first in this video saying sorry for not uploading some content. I've been very busy with school. I've been very busy with architecture school, to be more specific, and it's very time consuming, as some of you may know. But um, also haven't had the motivation to do this in a sense that um, I've been so busy with stuff. Even when I do have time, I'd rather spend that time sleeping or doing other things or being alive. you know. So yeah, I just want to apologize for that. But anyways, let's get on to the video. I'm going to do a parametric precedent on. It's going to be a live one in a sense. What I mean by live is that I have never done this precedent before, and I've found it, and I'm like, I want to do this. Usually when I do a video behind the scenes, I already make the script, so I understand kind of how to do it. But this one's going to be more of a unscripted, even more unscripted than usual, live narration and understanding my thought process. And I'm going to make a ton of mistakes just to show you guys what to do and what not to do. So I have a few ideas on how to do this already, but I don't know if it'll work. And that's how we're going to go through it. So it's this, what's it called? It's a pavilion type structural member. Already I can tell there is I usually, when I do parametrics, I always try to find some basic shape. I know immediately this is a triangle, and just from doing this from experience, is a bunch of triangles creates a hexagon, and there is a hexagon command in Grasshopper, or hexagonal, or things like that. So I can use that as my base point. So now that I know that, I can actually start to model in this. Right, let me pull this up. All right, cool. So we're going to start with this. So I haven't even opened Grasshopper yet. Silly. So while this opens up, I'm going to talk a little bit more about just how I'm going to do this video or this channel. I want this channel to be more successful. Also, I saw, let me go on my phone real quick. I saw that I had 208 subscribers, which is insane because I haven't uploaded in the last month, literally. So I want to thank all of you for that because I literally, or 212 subscribers, sorry. I haven't even made a video in so long, and I feel bad for not uploading regularly for you guys and actually giving you guys some Grasshopper content or even Rhino content if that's what you guys are into. And I probably will do some Rhino tutorial stuff. I've tried it a little bit already, but it just I wasn't into it. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for the 212 subscribers. I've been seeing it on my emails, you guys subscribing, so I'm very thankful for that. Anyways, let's get on to it. Wow, that is out. So we're going to work in top view for this one. I think that'll work the best. I'm going to use, what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably, the way I'm approaching this is I'm going to work in a plane first, and then I can do a surface morph onto a surface I create in Rhino with this. So that's how I'm thinking about doing it. I'm going to have that picture up for reference for me. So how I'm going to start off is the hexagonal, like I said. So we're going to start off with the hexagonal. So it creates this amount. So I'm going to actually make it a little bigger. Not the actual size. Actually, I'm going to make the size a little bigger, actually. So 5 radius. There we go. And I'm going to add more of them, probably. I always do 12 because if you type in, let's say 9, it'll only go up to 10. If you go 11, you can go up to 100. I always do 12 though because it's usually it's an even number, and it's already, I don't know why, it's just 12 is the easiest to pick out for me because I don't know, my finger is already on the numpad, or I do 1, 2 instead of double click twice, so it just flows better. I don't know, personal preference. But oh, sorry, I just dropped my phone. I just hit it actually. Sorry about that. So for extent X and extent Y, I'm going to put in 12 because I may want to change these up. So I'm going to make this one, actually, since the pavilion is a little bit longer this way, I'm going to make that a little longer. Alright, cool. So it's like a 20 by 13. And now I am going to start with the grasshopper. So I'm going to do an explode immediately. So I'm going to explode the cells, and it's going to give me some segments and give me some vertices. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the vertices and draw lines that intersect this way. That draw like this, this, and this. So let's try that out. And probably the whole perimeter as well in general. So let's do a list item in general. So I'm going to do a list item, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So I'm going to copy and paste. Now, if you're learning how to do this, I would recommend typing them all out. I know that seems stupid and redundant, but it helped me learn Grasshopper a lot easier just to understand the commands and how it works and get the hang of things. So we're going to start with the segments and just throw up a list. Actually, before we do that, I noticed that if you have the wires that are dashed here, it means that it's partitioned in some way, whether it's grafted or partitioned. That's what these mean. If it's a wire like this, then it's not partitioned or grafted, it's just flattened, basically. So this is, it's partitioned into 12 or 13. So whatever this number is, 13. So let's do a list. And I'm going to throw all these in there. And so it's going to be 0 through 5 because 0 counts as a number. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also want to apologize for the noise in the back. My 3D printer is running right now, so yep. Sorry about that. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so this, I like to keep my scripts pretty organized. At least it's a good habit to. So I'm going to group all these. So that is segments, and then now we're going to do the vertices. So actually we can just copy and paste it again. So that's 6. I think. Yep, that's 6. I think. What are you talking about? I did it 6 times. So 1, 2. Oh, I plugged that one in the wrong one. Control Z. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So then I'm going to align these, and then I'm going to use these same numbers here. Actually, I'm going to ungroup this. Oh, nope, I just double grouped it. If you right click, oh, also if you want to ungroup something, you click on it, right click, ungroup. Easy peasy. Take this, and I'm going to put this in the center of it, or around, and then I'm now going to group these 6 and these 6. Group. And I'm going to plug these in. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice. Alright. So now that we have that done, excuse me, now that we have that done, we can start to do, now we have all the points labeled, and we have all the segments labeled. We can actually start to do a, we can also start to do the geometry for this. So the geometry is basically that triangular shape along with the actual like edges of the hexagonal, or the hexagon, sorry. So what we're going to do is what I'm thinking of doing is I can technically join all these lines together and create my own, what is it called? My own sweep. That's what I'm thinking of doing, but there's definitely probably some better ways to do that. Right now I'm probably going to take these points and draw a line first that intersect like this, and like this. That's step 1. I know I have to do that, so okay. So I know it's this point this point. Okay, cool. So I have those already drawn. And now next one, line. And for the sake of this, I'm going to copy this. And line one. And it should be this one. Yep. So this one. As you see, I'm just drawing. Where's a clear example? Probably this top one. I'm just drawing a line that goes literally vertically, or that straight across from one vertex to another. Actually, I already copied it. So line, this point, and this point. So we have that kind of triad shape, as you can see from, oh, wrong one, this one, from this one. So as you can see from this, I have those triad shapes now, or the triangular shapes. So let me just straighten these out. And yes, you can see the clock, it is 12:30 a.m. I am up late. So what I'm thinking of doing here is I want to draw. Now, unfortunately, we can't just make a pipe and call it a day, and it's super easy. What we're going to have to do, what I'm thinking of doing, is taking all of these, and I'm going to have to draw some sort of rectilinear shape. So I'm going to have to do a rectangle on a plane on one of these points, kind of angled to it. So we can do a perp frame with the curve. So we need the frame to kind of fit perpendicularly with this curve. So parameter 0, which is the end of the curve. And yep, correct, awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. And I don't even think I need to orient the geometry. Do I? Let me check in perspective. Nope, don't even need to orient it. That's perfect, awesome. Awesome, don't even need to orient it. So what I did here was I took this line and I said make a perpendicular frame. Make the frame perpendicular to this line. And it was like, what are the, and then it's asking for a parameter. So it's saying, where do you want the rectangle to be? So, and the parameters are from 0 to 1, by the way, 1 being the end of the curve and 0 being the 0 being the start of the curve and 1 being the end of the curve. So you're supposed to set these to 1, I think, 1, range 1, and make it rational actually. And okay, so you can see the frame actually starts to move. And I added that rectangle. But the problem with the rectangle is, if I say XY, it only reads as positive. So like if you think of it as an axis, or let's go back to Rhino. Why is it lagging so much? Jesus. Why is it lagging so much? Let's see what my memory's at. Oh, it's not terribly. So if you think about it as the axis, let's say these are your axes. This is the positive axis. So if you say 3, 2, or 3 feet, 3 by 2, it's going to do 3 by 2, not in the center of it. Like, it's not going to be even like 2 by 3 within the origin. So you're going to have to do a construct domain in order to do this rectilinear shape to create a square in the center of it, almost a square piping. This is the way I've learned it at least. So X, Y. So basically, when you do this, oh shoot, did it crash? No. Yep, it just did that. I don't know why Rhino 6 does this. It's complete bullcrap. Like, I don't know why it does this crap. Man, I was just trying to make a video. Wow, I guess that's part of the process. So, save your files, kids. So I am not even going to go back to that. I'm actually going to go to Rhino 5 because, yeah, I'm pretty pissed off right now. So I just wasted 30 minutes. So I'm going to brush over briefly what I just did into... I'm going to brush over briefly when I script it again, but I'm not going to, like, go very in-depth because I already did for the first, 30 minutes of this video. 30 minutes, was it? 15 minutes. No, it wasn't a big deal. Alright, cool. I only wasted 15 minutes of my life trying to record it and failing. So I'm going to have to... Man, it keeps coming up with this too. Man, it's just not my day. Alright, close. Nice. Alright, and now we can go to Grasshopper. So I'm going to use Rhino 5 Grasshopper. Because Rhino 6 Grasshopper can't handle it for some reason. No clue why. Just can't. I don't know. I can model in it. I just can't do anything else. If I open up Grasshopper and I start scripting, it just keeps crashing. I really don't know why it does that. So there we go. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, cool. Alright. So we're going to do this again. Let's try this one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Hexagonal. And I'm actually going to type it all out, I think. 5. Copy and pasted that. It's just numbers. And I made this one a little larger. Right? Nope. Made that a little larger. Yep, there we go. And now I'm going to do a, what was it? An explode list item. One, two, three, yep, 6. 6 of them. Segments 1. Again, sorry about that, guys. I really can't help that out. My computer happened to glitch out. Apparently I looked this up on the Rhino forums too. That's actually a problem when you use Grasshopper and Rhino 6. It just crashes, and I have no clue why. It just randomly crashes. Like, that wasn't a heavy script either, so I'm very confused. It's just how it is, though. No worries, though. I didn't get too far in the script, thank God. So, maybe instead of plugging this in, I should have plugged this into another component. Because I can't just do that. Save some time. Three, 4, 5, and 6 amendo. There's still something plugged into there. What is it? Is it this one? This one? This one? It's this one. Alright, cool. They're all... Alright, so we're back to square one-ish, kind of. I still have to draw the lines. No big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but whatever. Line. So, this point, or no, this one. This one, and this one. This one, and this one, and this one. And the last two. Last two, right here, right here. Nice. Alright, so I started off here with a perpendicular frame, and this will create a frame within those lines that I'm talking about. So we're going to actually use these ones, sorry. And the parameter starts from 0 to 1, so we're going to have to change it to rational. Now, the reason why we're doing 0 and 1 is because the frames read, when I make a perpendicular frame, it's basically saying you have a curve, make the frame perpendicular to that curve. And this is saying, so the Grasshopper's like, alright, I'll make that, but where am I going to make that? And this is where you control where to make that. And this will be like, I want the frame to be maybe I want the frame halfway. Somewhere halfway in this, in the curve to make that frame, and then you can start to make the geometry. I want mine at the end of the curve. You can also start at the I want mine at the very start of the curve. You can also do it at the very end. It goes from a 0 to 1 basis. So technically, whatever this distance is, it just kind of makes it like into a division, like a percentage almost. So this is like 50% of the length of the curve, or things like that. So think of it like that. So I'm at 0%, which is the end of the curve, or the starting of the curve, if you want to think about it that way. So we're going to do a rectangle, like I said before, and then what I was saying here is to do a construct domain, because when you how this xy works, it reads as a positive. So it sees one locally defined value, -1, 2, 1, which means it is reading 2 technically, because it's reading -1 to 0 and 0 to 1. So that's a length of 1 plus 1, which is 2. So it's the length is 2 inches, or whatever your units is. So what I'm going to do is plug in a construct domain in this, and we're going to make our own. So we're going to do whatever this number is. So let's say I want it to be 2. Let's say I want the length to be 2. So I'm going to actually name this length. And then I'm going to name this one. I'm going to name this one width. And then I'm going to save this file. And they're going to say, let's save this file and put this in our folder. Call it. We're going to call it Pavilion Facade. Cool name. So let's say this is my length I want it to be. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some math and do a division, and divide this by 2. The reason why we're dividing this by 2 is because technically, let's think about it. Let's draw the rectangle in Rhino, like a quick one. So we have that rectangle in Rhino, right? So how the rectangle is reading off. So I'm trying to draw an example here. So let's say this is the axis it's reading off of. Actually, let's not use this rectangle. Let's make another one. So if we want the rectangle to be, let's say, it's basically going to say, right now it's reading the -1, 0 to 1. So it looks something like this. Like that. So let's say this is the -1, 0, and then 1. I know these aren't proportional, but stay with me. 1, 0, 1. So when we plug in, let's say, just two positive numbers, let's say 3 or 4, 2, or 4, yeah, let's just say that. Or something like, come on. Say 4, 2. So if we plug in 4, 2, it's going to be in the positive. So let's say this is our perpendicular frame, and I'll just say 4, 2, so it's not in the center or in the origin of our frame, which is what we want. So that's why we're doing a division here, in order to divide by 2. So it'll be in the center, and it'll be -1 and then 1. Or I can do 5, -5, and then 5, so it'll be 10. So if I want the length to be 2, it's going to divide it by 2 always. Does that make sense? Because let's think about it. If this, let's think about it this way. If the total distance of this is 2, if total, maybe I need a notepad open. That's crazy. I never use notepad. Notepad. So let's think about it this way. I want to make sure you guys understand this, because it's a really weird concept, but it makes sense once you understand it. It's like, oh, if the values given are locally defined at -1 to 1, that means the total length is 2, because of the distance of both lengths of 1. It doesn't matter if there is a negative, because it is still a distance in world axis. What I mean by that is, so this is -1, so technically you will always take the absolute value of those numbers to get the total length of it. Because if you think about it, let's draw that rectangle. You know what, we're going to draw that rectangle out, because this is 1. So if this is 1, so let's say in Grasshopper I want a length of 1. What you're going to do is you're going to take a dimension of this, which is going to be ½ an inch. Oh, sorry. So what it's going to do is, I want this to be at 1. So what we're going to do is, I know this isn't exactly in the origin either, so bear with me. Actually, you know what, we're making this in origin. We're making this perfect. So what we're going to do is, let's say I want a 1 by 1 square. So what we're going to do is, what we're saying the computer to do is basically take this side that I just snapped, and make it 0.5 inches. And then, as you see, it's already, or actually, yeah, 0.5. Actually, let's make it 2. Sorry. Let's make it 2 inches. So we already have 1 by 1. Let's make it 2. So let's say we need a 2. So we're going to do 1 inch here. And then we're going to do another 1 inch this way. And that will create our 2 by 2 square. And as you can see, each length of this is 1. So if we do a dimension real quick, we can easily see that this is 1. Yes, this is 1. So we can tell that this is 1 right here. Because, so to get the length, if we go back to Grasshopper, sorry, we're going to do a 1. If we want, let's say 3, we want to divide it by 2 because we have to split it in half. So the total length here is 2, but we need to split it in half. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we're doing 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. So we have to plug this into here. So if we saw on there, it has to be a negative and a positive, because we eventually just take the absolute value of it. So if you do a negative component, we can plug the negative in here and plug this into here. And then we can plug the end domain into the positive. And that will give you your rectangle that you are looking for the x component, I mean. And of course, it's not even connected to the frame yet, but it will be, that's for sure. And then we can do another division component and plug this into here. Now let's say this. Let's say a 3 by 3 for right now. We throw in a negative. We throw in another negative, and then we're good. So now we have, the only thing controlling is just the length and the width. So let's move these up here and straighten these out. So now we can parametrically control these. As you can see right here, it's a perfect square now. And I actually want it a little smaller. 1 by 1 should be fine. And now I want that plane to actually be with this perpendicular frame, which is what we created in the first place. Nice, nice, nice. So now, what we can do with that, we can actually sweep this along that curve, kind of like a square pipe. So we can do a sweep 1. Oh, that's a mesh sweep. Sweep 1. So it's asking for the rail, which is the curve that we're going to basically make the pipe with, which is this line. So we're going to plug that in. And it's asking for the sections. And if we think about the sections, it's just shape you want to, quote unquote, pipe. It's cool that you can rename them. And it should make it. Nice. So it creates that. And they're pretty big, actually. Actually, I'm going to change the dimensions. This is huge. I didn't think how huge these would be. Rational. And we're going to make it rational. And we're going to change these lengths to max 1. And max 1. Alright, sorry. And we're going to just kind of throw it back down a little bit. Nice. Somewhere around here. Doesn't have to be a perfect square, obviously, for me. I just wanted to demonstrate how this works. So as you can see, it's clearly I need to draw a die here, sorry, and do a zoom select. It wasn't zooming in for me, no clue why, but as you can see, it's creating that that sweep perfectly, and then we can do a cap. So we're going to do that for the other 3 curves too as well. You can just copy and paste it if you want, but I'm going to type it one more time and explain it to you guys. Perp frame, so we're going to make a perpendicular frame. We're going to throw the curve on here, and then we're going to make a parameter 0, because that's where we want it. We want it at the start of the curve. Then we're going to draw a rectangle. No, not this one. Rectangle. And we're going to do a construct domain and plug these 2 in. Nicely done. And now we're going to do a number slider to determine our lengths. And I'm probably just going to use the same ones here because I don't want to like weirdly dimension it wrong. So we're going to do, oh, first we need a negative. I know that. We can plug these in. That's it. Plug these in. Division. We know we need a division symbol. And we know we need this to plug into here as well. And we're going to use the same values here. That one divided by 2. And divided by 2. And this one divided by 2. Nicely done. And now we're going to do a sweep 1. And we're going to save. Rail. And we're actually going to add our frame because we forgot to do that already. Or I forgot to do that, sorry. Sections. And let it load. And do a cap holes. And as you can see, it's creating that geometry that we need. So we have 2 of them down, and now we need 1 more. And I like to turn off the frames, by the way, because they are really annoying after a while. There we go. And now we can do the last curve, and I'm just going to copy and paste this one because it is long. And it's going to literally be the same thing. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Don't lag now. Uh-oh. I forgot to plug in this one. Plug in the rail here. Then it should work. Yep, there we go. And now it's working. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Now we can do that for the other ones. Technically, we can do a... For this one we can just polyline, I'm assuming. I know we exploded it and then we did this, but I think it's better if we just polyline this. Oh wait, hold on. These aren't points, these are segments. I'm bad. We can use the curves. I mean, we could use the curves, or we can do... Thinking. If we could use the curves, or we could use the... Let me try this, and then what I'm thinking is I'm going to do endpoints. I guess the endpoints are in the same place. So... Okay, so I think they're in the same spot. So maybe I will use the points and just do that. Let me try this way. I'm going to do another perp frame. Join curves. 0. Cool. Do another rectangle. XY frame. Just do negative again. 1 second, guys. Let me check on something. Sorry about that, guys. I had to check on my print. Just making sure it's fine. Whew. It's hard to sleep with that thing on, just letting you know that. But I'm getting used to it, so we're going to throw in a division again. Sorry I wasn't talking that little bit. Just making sure. I'm just thinking, too. But also, it's just the same stuff, too. Because we're going to use the same dimensions. And then we're going to divide it by 2, of course. And then we're going to plug these in. And then we're going to do a sweep again. And before we do that sweep is a bit of a heavy command, so I like to save before it. I like to save, you know, we just did it. And then it doesn't, it's a rectangle, so I don't know why. You know what, never mind. So we do a rail, which is the joint curves, and then we do the rectangle. And it says, why is it not working? Sweep cannot be created. Well, what a douche. No, I'm just joking. I'm not a douche. It's a closed curve. I think that's why it's freaking out. Let me disconnect one of them. Let's disconnect. Oh, you guys can't see that. Let me disconnect. Sorry, I was showing up on my other screen. If I disconnect that, it should make it the 5 of them, not the 6th one. Yeah, it's not responding. Please respond. Don't send me an error report. Yep, okay, it worked. Nice, nice, it worked. Yay! Everybody clap their hands. No, I'm just joking. So this curve is what we need to do. And we can actually plug in the endpoints for this one real quickly so we can see our endpoints. And we have to do this one separately because it's not... the sweep doesn't work well with closed curves. Don't know why. It just doesn't. It's just a giant dick with that. As you can see, this one created the sweep nicely. And now we can take the geometry we have. You can also do a perp frame. Okay. There's just a lot of stuff and I have to move it a lot. Can I just copy and paste this? Is that possible? It's just the sweep 1, and this joint curves, and then the perp frame. Yeah, I'm just going to copy and paste this. I already have it. Again, if you guys are learning this, I'd recommend typing it. And I usually do it when I'm learning something new. I like to type it out a bunch and understand it. But I guess I am learning this script, but I know what it does. You have to understand the importance and how the script works before you can start to just copy and paste it, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong and a bit of a hypocrite. Perp frames. Plug this in here. Put this in 0. I'm going to put this in here first. Yeah, sweep cannot be created. Oh wait, wrong one. Wrong curve. It's going to crash again because I put in the same one. Whew, it's 12:58, guys. It's been a while. That's for sure. It's been, how long? 39 minutes. So, come on, come on, come on. It's a bit of a journey, I would say. So I'm going to plug this in here. Hopefully it doesn't work, because I'll freak out if it does. Oh, it didn't freak out. Cool, nice. We're gonna use this frame. That's the only thing I'm missing. Alright, nice. It created that last one right here. So now we have all of our sweeps. If we highlight all of them, we have our sweep. So we basically have the framing of it. I don't have it like super thick like they do. but I do have that type of geometry that they have, and that's what's important in my opinion. Sorry, one sec, guys. I'm just making sure I get this script correct. Alright, cool. And now, oh, I forgot to cap it. I forgot to cap these. Cap holes. Alright, so now we're going to have to do the surface morph, which is something I'm unfamiliar with. I've only done it once because I was testing it out and seeing how it worked, and it's really cool, but I'm not an expert at this. And I like to give a shout out to Parametric House. He's the one that actually, he didn't show me how to use this, but I asked him a question about this, and he answered it by using surface morph, so it's the only reason why I know it. So I'd like to give a big shout out to him. Thank him for the suggestion he's been giving me. So he's a really smart guy. You guys should check him out. I'll leave his channel link in the description. It's also on my channel, and I'm sure some of you guys already subscribed to him. He's a really good guy, and I've talked to him in person on Skype, and he's a really good person. He knows his stuff. He's like expert at this, and I'm like amateur compared to him. But anyways, so I'm going to do a surface. Ah, crap! I keep typing that. Surface morph. That's all here. Ooh. Oh boy. So the geometry is the geometry to deform. I'm going to start with the framing of it, which is the easiest one. So like this. No. Also, whoa. Is that the framing of it? I can't see it. It's not on top view. Alright, yeah, these two are it. So I'm going to do a merge here, because I don't want to keep plugging crap in constantly. So I like to use a merge sometimes to make things easier, and sometimes merging actually helps out. The merging could make things easier on the listing. So geometry, the reference, geometry, reference box. So you have to use, was it box mapper? I can't remember what it was. It was like bounding box. And instead of per object, you change it to union box. And the contents box. The contents. And then the box. And then, sorry, I've only used this like once, so it's a very boxing reference. And then the surface to morph it with. So I'm actually going to save this, close out of Grasshopper real quick so it doesn't lag, and then create my surface. And it's just probably going to be some really simple surface interpreter. And I'm just going to go in top view and make a very simple surface, just like that. Rotate this up with ortho. And move vertical. Loft. And there we go. So put this in shaded, not pen, shaded. Nice. So that's what I want. So that's the surface I'm going to reference in Grasshopper. So go back to Grasshopper, surface, right click, set one surface. Nice. And then we're going to plug in our surface and pray this works. And input parameter UV value. Okay. I don't have any empty domain. Alright. So it's not horrible. So I'm going to say 12. I'm going to start out with 12 for each one. So I don't know. Alright, so it's loading. It's not responding. That means it's bad. So Maybe that was a very big number. Maybe 12 is too big. I don't know. So I think the reference box is the only thing I could have done wrong. That's the only thing I could think of that I did wrong with that. But yeah, I don't know exactly right now because I can't move it and it's not working and it's crashing probably. All I can do is let it load. But anyways, I know that I've used Surface Morph before on other objects, and I'm probably going to do a tutorial on Surface Morph solely because it's such an interesting component of Grasshopper that I think is not talked about a lot. So once I learn a little bit more about it, I'm definitely going to do a video on it, and I think it's a really interesting component, and I really want to learn it. I do have an example component. I always, once I'm learning a component, I like to save it, like an example of it, and then put it in, I just save the file and put it in my template folder, just in case I need it. And that's me what I do. I'll probably do that in this video, if this responds. So, let's see if this works. Come on now. Come on now. It's just a lot of geometry too. I think that is the case as well, because my UVW domain is pretty large. I like to say, because W is probably the height. It's probably XYZ. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna respond. Crud. Alright, so it's just a lot of geometry, and there's my notepad. So I already saved that, thank God. I didn't just leave it unnamed like last time. Sorry this video is all over the place. That's kind of, I feel like, the point of this video, for me to mess up a bunch and show you guys what not to do. So this is supposed to be very informative and understanding like the workings of Grasshopper almost, or not the whole thing, but just like the process of actually modeling in it and like the mindset. And when I go online and I look at other people's tutorials, it looks like they know everything, which is great and all, but that doesn't teach me anything, my opinion. And thank God it's did a recovery save. Nice. And now I think about it, oh, it didn't even save my surface. No, my surface. Alright, you know what? We're going to make our own surface again. Now, why is there like 5 perspective views? What the hell? Hide tab. No, show tab. Well, I don't need it. But, oh man, I use those a lot actually. I didn't even realize how many times I use it. It's fine. And that. Let's just do an extrude actually. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking just do an extrude. Where is show? I'm actually going to save this file under the same component. Where is kinetic architecture? So what is it? Pavilion facade. Ooh, it is 1:08, guys. I'm letting you know it is a late night as usual. So let's open up Grasshopper again. See what goodies I get. Oh. Alright, so now let's see. You know what? This never works, by the way. This autosave crap never works. Not autosave, but this never works. I don't know why. Open document. What is it? Pavilion facade. I have a lot. So have I done that many videos? Pavilion facade. Okay, there we go. Open recovery file. I hope it's not that giant script. I hope it's not the saved with the Surface Morph. So I'm going to open up a can of worms over this one. Maybe it is. Crap. Let's see if this works. Let's pray. I don't know what just happened. Oh, Grasshopper disappeared. Usually when it does that, it like keeps loading, and I don't know why. So, tell me if you guys are finding these helpful. Obviously, I would like to know that, and I'm trying to be as helpful as possible with this, and I am not plugging in those 12s again. I'm putting these at like 1. This will be like 1. And we're saving this bad boy. I'm also going to open up my template files just to show you guys kind of my process, because that is part of my process. If I don't know something, I look back. It should be named Surface Morph on here. I'm almost sure. That's shrink wrap. Not the same. Pack chair parking. I guess I don't have one. Wow. For me, I just don't have one. I've used it before. I just don't remember how I did. So time to learn again. I don't know what the difference between aligned bounding box and coordinates. Oh, that's the bounding actual box. Reference box to map. Okay. So I'm going to use this geometry. I'm going to use this geometry. Set one surface. Let's save. Let's save. And plug in the 1. Oh. So it didn't glitch out. Alright, that's nice to know. Didn't freak out. Alright, and I think I need to flatten this. Nope, don't flatten that, that's for sure. Oh, I didn't even set the surface, no wonder. It didn't make sense. Alright. Why is it not setting my surface? Set one surface. Surface to reference. You dick. Okay. You know what? I'm going to type in a new one. And I'm going to reference it. It's just not referencing this. I don't know why. Why? Reference, please. I don't know why it's not referencing that. That's really weird. Like, I've never had that before. Let me try lofting these. This is a surface right here. Maybe it just doesn't like extruded geometry, but that still doesn't make any sense to me. Alright, that reference, because it's... 1, 2... Alright, so I referenced that geometry. Let's see if this works. It's just in the void again. Maybe it'll work this time. I think it's just a ton of geometry. Maybe if I shorten down the amount of hexagons I have, it'll be easier. So maybe I'll do that. I'm going to try to do that to see if that works. That's the only way I think this will work right now, because my computer is just not feeling it today, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm going to end it here at the not responding page, which is funny. But I did make the frame, and I did lay it out, and there is a way to morph that onto a surface, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm actually going to do a completely separate tutorial on this specific precedent I'm going to research a little bit more on Surface Morph so I understand the capacity of it and everything, so I'm helpful to you guys. So yeah, guys, I want to let you know, I want to end it here. I want to let you guys know that I'm going to come back to this. I'm not going to just abandon it. I am still going to post this video, obviously. I did technically create the frame, I just didn't morph it to the surface. So I didn't fail in a sense, but I like to show my failure because it definitely will help people out, in my opinion. I think a lot of people just show how good they are online, and that's not the way that people learn. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.